Hello everybody and welcome to another one of our channel GameCon's Python tutorials. This is Python tutorial number 2 for me. Just in case you haven't checked out the other ones, there's one Python tutorial 1 done by me as well, and there's also a variable Python tutorial done by Zan. Make sure you check those out before coming to this because I'm using all those and just putting them together sort of. And so in this class we're gonna go through again just touching on statements, conditions, and you're gonna understand that quite quickly because it's pretty much like saying stuff. So that is how that's gonna work. And yeah. And if you haven't watched those, make sure you watch them again before coming to this because you might not understand some of the stuff coming if you haven't watched that yet. So we made a few improvements to the recorder, as you could see, and you might see, hopefully if it works properly, you will see whatever I'm typing that coming up in this corner over here. So like if I press space, it should come up as space over there, and you'll be able to see all that. So yeah, hopefully that works out well. So let's get right into it, and we'll start off in a normal shell prompt. So we'll try and make maybe a little game today. And yeah. So here we're in a shell prompt. So if you haven't watched the other videos, I'm just gonna tell you, shell, as soon as you type something, it responds as soon as you type in. So you can only type in one block of code or one line of code. And save it to run it for later, unless you open a new file. To open a new file, if you're on Windows, I'm on Windows, I'm working on Windows right here. If you're working on Windows 2, you just press Control N, and it should come up with a new file like so. And yep, so that's how that works. And here, we'll open the shell file, and we're gonna get started with that right now. So first, touching on conditions. We're going to quickly just touch through conditions quickly, if statements. So firstly, the if statement. For starting the if statement, we're going to use some variables. We're going to name two variables, a and b. And here a equals 6, b equals 9, as you can see that. And now I'm going to type in a simple if statement. So how you type it in is the format, the syntax. You first type in if, and then you can type in a variable, a value, or some text. And we're going to type in a here. If a, you can put. So there's quite a few things you can put. One is the double equal to sign, meaning equal to. You can't put an equal to sign because that you use for variables. You need to put double equals to because you're checking an if statement. Why you can't use the single equals to is because it will confuse it to a variable, and it's just not the correct syntax for Python. So we're gonna keep on going with that. So we're gonna type in if a equals b, then the print, and we're just gonna the typing isn't working for me. So we're gonna type in equal, and we're gonna get out, and here incorrect syntax again. But make sure you put the colon though. So how the colon thing works is once you put a colon, everything you write, once you put a colon and press enter, it'll indent. So it won't show the 3 arrows again. So you're gonna pretty much write a block of code. So it'll indent, and it's gonna sort of move across, and until you get out of the block, everything that you write in the indent will be under the if condition. So it's gonna check everything inside there. If a equals b, then it's gonna do everything around underneath this. Else it's just gonna skip it and go on with the code. Okay, so I'm just gonna press enter twice because you need to get out of the if statement and then it will respond. Now why it hasn't responded is because A is actually not equal to B, because A is equal to 6, B is equal to 9, so they're not equal. So it went to the else and just skipped that and came to here. So I'm gonna just do another one. If I'm just gonna type in maybe if A is less than B, then we're gonna make it print less than. So here it's gonna check if A is if A, which is 6, is less than B, which is 9, and that is true. So it should go into the condition basically. Yes, so that worked out. That is how you use a condition. Like I said again, if B, I'm gonna type in if B is less than A. So what happens now is that basically what happened now is it will go into the thing. It'll go into the condition. It will not go into the condition. I'm so sorry. So as I said before, if you're using games, you don't know the user's response. So you can't just put if condition, and if it's wrong you can't. So if you're taking an answer and if the answer is equal to the correct answer, then print correct. You can't expect it to see if else print wrong. So you need to write another block of code for that. Like I said before, if we do this, it's gonna come into this, but then if it's not correct, it's gonna go out. It's gonna go else, print the rest of the code. But you can also put an else condition in there. So we're gonna just press enter here, go backspace, and then now I'm gonna type in else. Else. So it's gonna do if us that is just okay. Just go else and there's just an error there. Else. Okay, so I'm just gonna refresh this page. So for the else condition, we're gonna go into a new file. So Control N, and that takes us to a new file. Go A equals 8, B equals 1, and I'm gonna go if A equals 8, then print and make it print the equals to sign. And then you can also put something else. So when it runs to the code, if A is not equal to 8, it doesn't just go on with the rest of the code. It goes on to check the next condition else. So if A is not equal to 8, we're gonna go print else. And so we're just gonna run this. So run module. And so you have to save it. As you can see, I'm gonna go into my folder, go to my Python folder, type it. Make sure your name is something that is actually a good name, so you can see what the file is. So now it's saved as a demonstration for Game On, and you can see here it printed equal to because what? Okay. So we're gonna look back at the code. That is not supposed to. Yes, that was supposed to happen. Because A is 8. It went into the if condition, and it said okay, A equals 8. So it tells me to print print equals to. So it's gonna print equals to right there. So that is pretty much how you do it. And now we're gonna do one more thing. just a quick touch onto another thing, which is a tiny little program using this. So say you built a game, we might build one later on, a big game that you don't want much people to see, and you want to really hide it. So in this case, we're going to put a password for it. So the password is going to be let's set it as 123 4. So first we start off by saying password equals 1234, and then we're gonna go, and then you have the code. So you go if and then so now you're gonna ask for input. So there's no point just setting the password and doing the if condition. You're gonna ask for input. So you're gonna prompt the user to input. So we're gonna name it username just for that. So username is actually going to be the password, but it's just naming it username because we can't name it password as there's already a variable called that. I'll reset the variable and we're going to do a password. Just going to simply type in password and put a space so there and go. So username equals input password. So it's going to ask the user for input. So it's going to nudge the user and say hey, and then it's just going to print password and wait for the user to type in something like enter or whatever. Now so let me go to the new line, and now we're going to start our if condition. So if if use so we're going to do if username is equal to password, print welcome. So you only want your friends to play this game, let's say. Print welcome. And then we're going to go else. So else exit the program, sort of. But how we're going to do it here is using a module called sys. I know we haven't learned modules yet, so I think we might be going a bit too far with this. So, but I'll just tell you just once for only this game. So what modules are, it's code that's already written and built into Python. You can actually make your modules and you can still call that a module, but we're going to use a Python built-in module called sys. So I think it's short for system. So all you have to do is import it at the start. Make sure you import it at the very start and type in import sys. So what we're going to do is press enter here. So else. And now we're going to use the sys module and type in system sys dot, and might come up with a few options. If you type in dot, it normally comes up with options, but we're going to use exit. So click on exit there, or you can just type it in. Make sure you put brackets. So exit is pretty much a function written in the sys module. So before this video ends, I'm just going to go into modules and show you what a module is and how much code it is. Like 2,000 lines of code already built into function. Maybe I'll show you that next class because time's running out. So this is basically the thing, and so now what you can do is you go. It's gonna check if username is equal to password. So what you ask for the password, if it's equal to the correct password, then print welcome. Else sys exit. So that's pretty much how it works. Password, make sure you put it in quotes because what the input is gonna be a text, not a integer. Integers are pretty much numbers. We're gonna learn. You can ask for an integer input. We're gonna learn that in the next class, though. So that's pretty much your first little program. Keep this for later, and we might use it for another thing. We're gonna build a game into it and use it like that. So Thank you, everybody, and make sure to check out the other videos, and see you later.